Everybody, this meeting of the City of Bisbee Design Review Board is called to order by Lori Gannell, Chair, at 5:30 p.m. I will take roll call of the board members. Ed Briggs. Here. Peter Gaffer. Here. Stephen Green. Here. Lori Gannell. Here. Ben Lepley. Here. Doug Taylor. Here. Ted Schreiber. Here. Frank Davis. Here. Okay, all here. Excellent. So I will make a call to the public. Residents of the City of Bisbee may speak at this time regarding Design Review Board topics that are not on the agenda, and your speaking time will be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody? Bruce, come on up to the microphone.
Hi there. For you that don't know me, my name is Bruce Surratt and I'm with the Bisbee Dark Skies Initiative. We've been working real hard the last couple of years with the City Council, the Planning Commission, the City Attorney to update our lighting ordinances to make sure they're dark skies compliant. The Planning Commission and the City Council both passed these unanimously last fall, and they're now part of the building codes in the City of Bisbee. And to further this, we figured there was a need for educating the local contractors that the city codes have been updated, so as they're doing the remodels and building houses, that they are dark skies compliant. And Joe Ward takes care of this when he reviews plans and everything before it goes out. And so we had a contractors meeting, and everybody was pretty enthusiastic about it. And actually there was two different comments, and both of them said, well, if these are the new ordinances, please be sure and tell the Design Review Board. They're telling us one thing and the building inspector's telling us something else. And I knew you guys were coming out with a new set of design review criteria. And I was just the man we wanted to see here. And I'd just like to make a recommendation before you fully commit to your new criteria, that I think it would be a good idea if you sat down with Joe, because he's the local expert now, and update your design review criteria to match the new city lighting ordinances. That's all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
No, other than it would be great if is it possible to get us a set of a copy of the ordinance?
Yes, I will tell you, before they were adopted by the mayor and council, Mr. Pocken did go through them, and we did change the wording regarding the lighting. Okay. And it is, the dark skies ordinance is placed at the bottom of it, and it's a clickable where you can see the ordinance on the website. Okay. But I'll get you a copy of that. Okay. And then if you want to change anything else. Thanks. I'm sorry?
I said we can't discuss that.
No, but I was just telling them.
I know. I know you were.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else from the public needing to speak on a topic that is not on the agenda this evening? No? Okay. I will close the call to the public and open up with agenda item number 1, 22-41 513 Brophy Avenue. Will the applicant... Is the applicant
513 Brophy?
Yeah, okay, come on.
Here's some pics. I don't know if Joe got it all out to everybody.
I think we have it.
Yep, all of that should be in there.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Jimmy Shortan at 513 Brophy. When I came before and got an approval for a window, I put it in for a 4x4 window. And I was taking a side-by-side window and turning it sideways so it would be up and down. Well, that window just did not work, so I got rid of it, and I went ahead and had a 4x3 custom window made. And Joe's partner that works with him, I told him, he said everything was okay, but then Joe came up and said, no, you can't do that, you gotta go before the board. So that's why I'm here. And it's like a bay window. It opens like a little awning window, opens about that much in the bottom. And on the back of my house, it's on the back, but the back of my house has three other awning windows in it. And in the picture there, you can see the kitchen window is pretty big, but it's a bay window, or an awning window. My bedroom also has an awning window. So, but the one that's going in there is a 4x3, it's a smaller window. The others are like 4x32. I mean 5x32.
Does this window match in appearance outside of being a little smaller? The other windows, are they the
Yes.
same type of window?
Exactly, yeah, they're all the same.
Is this a vinyl window?
Actually, this one is an aluminum one, they couldn't make it in vinyl. So I had it custom made in aluminum, but hardly any aluminum is gonna be showing, it'll be all wood like the rest of them.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment for or against this application today? No? Okay, I will close public comment. Staff comments?
I brought this to you guys because you had specifically approved the windows, and I don't get involved in that. After you specifically approved it, I cannot approve something outside of what you've done.
Thank you. Okay, I will now open up the board discussion. Anybody have questions?
I don't see windows for I don't see windows for the rest of the house, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
how this goes.
Right here, it has a picture of the kitchen window next to it. It's on the back patio.
Right, but the,
Yeah. If you look, there's the bedroom window that's already there.
you
Yeah,
know,
the bedroom window looks the same.
Like the kitchen?
The bedroom window looks the same. And then the bedroom from the outside will look the same as when he puts it in. You won't see it, the wood will be covering it.
And the very last picture that I gave Lori there has a picture of the window.
Yeah.
and so
And
my recollection of this house is that the front windows are the original wood windows.
Yeah, the front window, all the windows on the street, all go up and down, they're originals,
That's what I remember.
except they're all double pane.
yeah.
So this would essentially be going into more non-conformity. Is that your understanding then? You know, if we were bringing the wood windows to this,
I agree.
it's going into non-conformity.
It will conform with the other windows that are in the back of the
Yeah,
house.
yeah. But
And one of the reasons I wanted the big window without I really didn't want one that goes up and down because of the bar that goes across. Because I'm putting a hummingbird feeder out there so I can have breakfast and watch the little hummingbirds. So without any obstruction.
It's just that the other two windows, your kitchen window, did you say, and another bedroom window,
Uh-huh.
And,
those that it's matching
yes.
are out of sync with the rest of the house. I don't know how important that is in this case, but,
They were put in 2014.
yeah, that's what I was thinking it was recently. And so you had an approval, my understanding is you had an approval several months ago and wanted to change it.
Yeah, the 4x4 window I had didn't work. And what I'm gonna do is build a little bench there so you can lean against it and read a book or something. And so I decided to bring the window up a little bit to a 4x3.
Thank you.
The 4x4 window, that was approved, what was it?
It was a window that goes side by side and I turned it this way
Okay,
so that you could pick it up.
was it
But when you
aluminum?
pick it up and you put the lock in, it falls like that.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, so
It
it
was
didn't
a
work.
horizontal slider.
Yeah.
oh, I see.
It's
It was-
hard to find windows that go up and down anymore.
Yeah.
They all go to custom made.
When was this approved? Do you know?
I want to say, yeah, because I didn't put, it would have been July
Of last year?
of last year.
Okay.
And was that an aluminum window also?
Yes, I believe so.
I don't remember.
I want to say, I thought it was. If you give me a second, I'll try to find the,
It says date filed here on it, it says June 22nd, 2022.
right, so it would have been heard at the
The next
July
meeting,
6th
yeah.
meeting, yeah. So. let's see.
And was it the entire addition was approved and this was part of it? Is that my understanding?
That's my recollection.
Is it, okay. So it's not like it was a replacement window of a historic window?
No, it's a new construction coming out to widen the dining area.
Thank you.
Actually, I actually think that what he's proposing now is better than what he was gonna do before, as far as the appearance, you know? And especially if you're mainly gonna see the wood
Right.
as the frame.
Yeah, I want it to match, or everything to match. I want it to look really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I found it. If you give me a second, I'll show it to you. Because this is the window that was previously approved, correct? This the one that was gonna go sideways?
Well, it was a 4x4.
It'll match the space there.
It was kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
But it's a sideways window, I just turned it.
So that was the original window that was approved.
Okay. Oh, yeah. What? I don't know. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There
There
it
we
is.
go.
I think it's in.
So that's a slider, yeah. I think you're right.
Nobody's gonna actually be able to see this window. It's a big giant pine tree, but
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're not supposed to consider that part, but we do consider the, what seems to be more conforming than, you know, like, if it was an existing window, you know, my take on it would be you should keep the existing opening and have a window that fits that. It doesn't really, to me, it matters, but if you're keeping an historic opening, it should remain historic, but this is a whole new construction site, so I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions, Mr. Shorten? Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion, since I was at the previous one, to approve application DRB 22-41. We haven't given it a new number.
No, when we're just amending the old application, so it has the same number, sorry.
As presented.
I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against say nay. The ayes have it, unanimous. Your amendment is approved.
cool.
Yeah.
I just want to say that lighting ordinance thing is really a great idea.
Yeah. It's cool.
Because on the other side of the hill, they're really bright. If they just put a lid on the light, it'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along, new business, agenda item number 2, application 23-22, 715 Tombstone Canyon. On John Sky.
Hello, John?
Yes.
All right. It's your item.
Okay.
Hello?
We're ready for you, John.
Alright, my bad. I got my, we should be good now.
Okay.
Yeah, so, basically we're just putting a garage where there was already a garage. I guess the only thing in question is, the doors. I mean, we don't really have a solid idea of the windows, whether we're even gonna put them in. But no matter what, if I do them, I can put some old style windows, or we're not real picky about what kind of windows, but they'll be, you know, the single hung windows.
Okay.
And then, the garage door, we're making it, we're not buying it, but it's essentially just gonna be, you know, somewhat like that, but it's all gonna be made from wood, handmade, just like, would have been on there.
So they'll slide.
Yes, there'll be 2 slider doors, but they'll look like, you know, one.
So it'll be wood with corrugated metal.
Yeah, so the building itself will be corrugated metal, and I got some old metal that, I got off another roof that's kind of got rusty patches and stuff like that, and we're gonna use that. for the siding, and then, just a handmade wooden door, like, you know, like they would've made back in the day.
Can I ask?
Yeah, we have a question from the board.
Hi, John, it's Doug Taylor. It's Doug
Okay.
Taylor. So it looks like the windows that you're proposing or not proposing, this is an unoccupied building, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
this is just a garage for, storage, for like gardening stuff.
Okay. And,
You actually,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So from facing from the street, you'll just see the two windows on the side, if we put windows at all. If you guys don't want the windows, that's fine, but I think what I'm gonna do is either make some windows, or I'm gonna use some old style windows, cause we're not worried about heating and cooling and all that.
Right.
So I'll probably just use some old double hungs that I pulled out of another house.
Yeah, this looks like barn sash, you know, so it wouldn't be insulated or anything.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, it's a utility building. And just for clarification, the doors you're talking about, because there is a photo in this packet that shows sort of cross-decks, wood doors, but you're talking about corrugated metal, right?
Well, the doors will be wood, but the siding on the garage will be corrugated,
Okay.
just like it was.
Okay. I
There
got it.
was a garage there fire.
Right, I saw that.
We're just putting it back.
Okay, thank you.
Same footprint and everything.
Okay,
It's 100, John, it's about 120 square feet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're following the line right where the original J-bolts are.
okay, so we're not on board discussion yet, so I'm going to open it up
Sure.
for, if you can just hang in there, John, I'm gonna open it up for public comment. Are there
No problem.
any public comments for or against this application? Okay, we have nothing, so I will close the public comments, and now I will open it up for, staff comments. Anything from you, John? Joe? I know from John there is. Joe?
I've got a question, Joe. Well, this isn't a staff comment so much as it is. When you're tearing down, you have the right to rebuild. This is in the front yard, so it becomes an issue. So, is this the same size as what you tore down there, John?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, is that it for staff comments or questions? Yes?
Yep.
All right, I will open up for board discussion. Anybody else have questions for Mr. Sky?
Yeah, this is Ben. Yeah, if you're gonna use reclaimed old sash window or wood window with divided lights, you know, just stick to that, and
Yes.
sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
But if I make a motion, it would be to then specify that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna go with the double hung, just some classic old double hungs, right? And I'll pull some together.
Well, you didn't mean for it to be double hung, did you? It could be, it's just old windows, recycling old windows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with divided lights.
So, yeah.
Okay, so there'll be a contingency, right?
With the provision, yeah.
With the provision, yes. Okay, so anybody else have questions? Okay, I will close the board discussion. Do we have a motion?
I think Ben's gonna make the motion.
Ben?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve DRB application 2322, to approve as presented with recycled old divided light windows to be used.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Green seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against say nay. Okay, Mr. Sky, you have a unanimous approval of your application. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your meeting.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Okay, application 23-22 is unanimously approved. All right, moving right along to item number 3. 23-2439 Howell Avenue. Come on up tonight.
Lori, I brought some additional packets that are in color. Could I pass those out?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
They are not colored, are they the same packet?
The same packet but in color.
Oh, I see, thank you.
And it was, we did update the packet on
Right.
Thursday.
That highlighter really pops now.
All right, so I'm Carrick Sears, the owner of Gym Club Suites, and we have some land in between our property, the Copper Queen Hotel, and the church, the Presbyterian Church, that is unutilized and collecting weeds and looking pretty ugly right now. And our idea would be to build a nice deck so that our guests could enjoy the deck, come together, build a sense of community with others exploring Bisbee, and enjoy the beautiful views the town has to offer from our deck. It would be about 17 feet by 36 feet, or overall about 600 square feet, surrounded by a fence around those edges, and it would go up in that empty area that's being unutilized right now. And we would like to do it out of natural wood, Douglas fir boards. You know, we'd also like the opportunity to consider aluminum as long as it's brown and color scheme, or a plastic type deck that would also be brown and blend in naturally. And what we're proposing is a fence that would be made out of wood 4x4 posts with a wooden 2x4 that would be treated, pressure treated outdoor wood and then stained with a stainless cable. And if the board doesn't feel that is in compliance with the Bisbee theme, then our second choice would be a standard picket fence as an alternative. And so then the drawings there show what we have in mind with how the deck fits on the lot. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So is this the look for the fence or the railing that you're talking about?
Yes, yeah, that would be the cable railing, correct.
Right, but not the actual deck itself.
Correct. Instead of cedar, we would use a dark brown wood. It would be like a Douglas fir that would be stained a dark brown.
And then this is the alternative, the picket.
That would be correct. Yes.
If the wood that you're talking about for the deck itself will be actually wood, it won't be like a composite?
I would like the opportunity I'd like the bandwidth to be able to choose and look at options and price them all out and see what makes the most sense. The wood's the cheapest, but it's going to take the most maintenance, where an aluminum or plastic would be at least 10 years without any issues, 15 years or 20 years even.
Okay.
I see a setback on this deck that it looks like it's 10 inches off. Is that?
We're not in the board discussion yet.
Okay.
We gotta open the public hearing.
Yeah.
You're right.
Sorry.
I was somewhere else.
I know, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Sears. So I'm going to open the public hearing. Does anybody here want to speak in favor or against this application?
I have a letter to read.
Okay, Nina will read the letter.
This is from Miss Laura Hanson. She's unable to attend in person, but she wanted to make sure that the comments were read. She had two major concerns with the proposed construction. The first is the building in question is a historic building. Adding a patio as pictured does not add to the aesthetic or historic Bisbee. In fact, it detracts from it. We must be concerned when any alteration to these historic buildings is made or when an adjustment addition is added. And that takes away from what makes historic Bisbee special. If we start to make exceptions for one, it starts a slippery slope, where there will be other requests that will begin to erode the very need for a design review board. The architecture of history, or historic Bisbee, is special and offers a rare glimpse of several styles in one unique place. We should not begin to chip away at the essence of the historic district, no matter who is making the request. The second major concern is the level of noise on an outdoor patio will add to an otherwise quiet neighborhood. The building in question sits near several homes, and adding an outdoor patio where transient visitors will party, hold loud conversations, smoke, and otherwise disrupt the quiet enjoyment of homeowners' property nearby is of real concern. I very much doubt that they will adhere to quiet hours beginning at 10 p.m. The patio will also be too attractive of a spot to resist and will likely bring in more people than just the hotel guest. These are the two major concerns that I have with the project. I strongly oppose the building of the patio. There are other aspects of the hotel that could be improved to make the business more profitable that do not infringe upon its neighbors or its historic nature of the town.
Thank you. And is that it for public comments? Okay, I will close the public hearing and open up for staff comments.
Okay, this is, yeah. Done?
Okay, good, you got it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ward. All right, I'm opening this application up for board discussion.
I just have a couple things to address in reply to the letter that came in from Ms. Hanson. It is in the entertainment district, so I'm pretty sure. So that's district, it's kind of allowed and promoted to have guests and events and just generally louder noises, as opposed to an Airbnb, which is up in between residential houses in a more quiet area. So if there is going to be late at night talking, I'd rather it be in the entertainment district. And then it's not really affecting the Gym Club Suites building. It doesn't appear to even be attached to it. So.
That,
Doug, did you have a comment?
yeah, that brings me.
I have a comment, but
Okay.
I'd like you to go first.
Okay, thank you. That brings me to my question, one question. How is this connected, not physically necessarily, but how is this going to be accessed from the building?
We have two exit doors on the east side of the property that people would go out of our hallway and be able to walk around.
And then it'll be flat with the, level with the ground at that point?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And it looks like the ground drops off a bit as you go the width of the deck.
Correct.
Also, I see this dotted line, a dashed line in your drawing.
Correct.
And is that the property line, the dashed one? Here it said, subject parcel line, Bisbee Town Site lots, and I'm not sure what exactly that meant.
That is currently the property boundary today. So we we've been in talks with the church to obtain the additional triangle of land to be able to build this project.
So the larger triangle is what you want to acquire?
Correct.
Okay, and I do see that there's a 10-inch setback, and I believe that it requires a 2-foot setback, am I right, Mr. Ward?
It's,
Butter zoning code, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, we have 2 foot 7 inches on one side and then 3 foot 3 inches on the other side.
And then up in the top, let's call it the northwest corner, you see you have 10 inches?
That's my property.
This, what says parking lot in here is?
That's correct.
Okay, okay. And I do think that I would like to see it's something that looks more like it might have come with the building in, I don't know what year that was, 1910 or something. So I'd like to see that and not just give an option to sort of put it in. But I also, I do agree that we're trying to hold the line in historic, and I know you know that, you've been here a while. I also think that the serviceability or social ability of that space is not an issue that the DRB can take under consideration. That might be a zoning or who knows what, but I don't think it has anything to do with design. I think it was a nice letter, but in that second paragraph, I don't think has any real bearing on this. And Mr. Ward would make sure that whatever gets built has the structural capability to carry people. And one of the things I'm asking about the access from the existing building is it something that can be accessed, and this had no bearing, but is it something that can be accessed by outside people? Just
Absolutely not.
okay. Yeah, I figured you wouldn't.
Completely fenced in.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that. So, yeah, I guess my comment is I'd like to see something that looks more like in keeping, that building has an amazing amount of detail, the windows themselves, and I know that's at a real cost too, but, I don't want it to look like the windows, but it should look as much, I think, blend in with the neighborhood and the building as possible.
Like it could have been built in 1903.
That would be,
even though
yes, they might not have had decks back then, who knows, but it would have looked, it would be great if it looked like that.
I would agree with that. Okay, Mr. Triever, you had a comment?
Yes, I happen to be a member of that church and on the governing board, which is called the Session. And we've been in communication with Carrick here. And we, as a board, have approved the sale of that land to him. And he's assured us that, so we were concerned, we had two concerns: drainage, which the way it's being constructed is not an issue. And that is a piece of property that has been in neglect over the years. So I think this is a very good addition to that space. He's also granted us as in the church, Presbyterian Church, access to our building should we need it, because our boundaries are going to change a little bit. It is total, I don't even know that you're going to see this building. I've walked the property, my wife and I walked the property, and it is secluded. It's very difficult to get to. I think the only way you're going to be able to, you could get to the land now is to go through this property. So far as that letter was concerned, I live on Clausen. My wife and I walk down to 10 Clausen. That house is up by the Spanish church. Sits way high up. Two things. That to be concerned about noise and things like that is no more concern than the patios, or what would you call them, porches, decks that he has on the second floor. Balconies, thank you. There's balconies already out, and people sit out there, and there's going to be no more noise or anything that be going on than would be the patio. Actually, you'd hear less because he's down low. And so, so far as the church is concerned, we are all for it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I like the style of railing that you proposed, the stainless steel, but I think it belongs in sort of Newport, Rhode Island, rather than here. If you could, the picket's fine. I like your steel railings that you have on the balconies. I don't know what that's that would push the cost way too high, and that would sort of bring it in. And I was looking at it this afternoon, and I thought that would be just a nice detail that would pull it together with the rest of it. Is that doable?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So I hear the concerns on trying to have a fence that would match the current style we have. So I think what we could do would be the picket fence. Doing it all steel like it is now, like they did in 1980, would be really cost prohibitive today. So what I would propose would be a similar style with similar spacing in between, but it would be made with a wood top piece and a wood bottom piece and wood post.
Okay.
Yeah. But we could measure it and try to have the space in between be the same, so it would look the same from a distance.
Yeah, I think that would be. I'm sorry about the stainless steel. I agree with you. I like it, but I think it's the wrong look.
I hear you.
Yeah, I like that. Anybody on this side of the table besides Mr. Lepley have any comments?
I just think stylistically, it's wildly inappropriate for the area, and I think the scale is inappropriate for the area. That's all I have to say.
It is quite large.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of looking to vote on something that hasn't been presented yet, because it did sound like you just said it's gonna be wood spindles or with the top rail and the bottom rail, something like that. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, it would be vertical pickets that would match the current spacing we have on the other balconies, with the top railing that's wood.
Because in this other alternative that you have, I'm noticing, it looks like wood with metal, the black and white one. I have somewhere I'm not seeing that.
Here it is, here it is.
Okay, it look, yeah, this looks like wood and metal, is that, but you're talking about having wood and wood, right?
We would probably do metal, vertical metal spigots. So the pickets would probably be metal, but it would be a wood header bar, the wood footer, and then the wood post every 10 feet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are you conforming to our guideline, this design here? If you want to approach.
What's your question?
He's saying if you want to approach and look at
Okay,
this
so I was looking at
design.
an earlier design, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Before you submitted
With
this.
the cable.
I see.
Yeah.
The cable.
Well, there was two suggestions.
Yeah.
It was this suggestion and that suggestion.
Okay.
And then he's saying that was an alternative if
Yeah.
this one didn't fly.
This one here would seem to more replicate the design of
You can go up and look at the book,
steel railings.
the new
that
standards.
you have on the-
Yeah, you can come up, you can approach.
Sorry, this one here.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's definitely not what we have, right?
That's a fence, so it would be a little, it would be different than, you know,
I think-
but you're meaning just rectangular slats rather than, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not quite sure, because he's talking about having a
Right,
header
a header
and a
like this,
footer.
yeah.
Yeah, like the white one.
That's almost like a privacy fence where you don't see through it.
Yeah.
Right, almost,
I think there was, one of the suggestions was to match what we currently have on the other balconies. I think that would probably look most pleasing when looking at the property from a distance. If it matches it all, because it was built at the same time, if we match it.
yeah. I don't remember what those look like, right?
It's like the picket fence here with the picture with
It looks like the white one.
the white fence.
The one
Oh,
she
so
just showed you.
balconies look like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're blackish to brownish to greenish, but the spacing would be like that. It's kind of-
Yeah.
Well, color can change, you know.
Hey, Mr. Lepley has a comment?
Yeah, I've got, occasionally I'll have a very unpopular view about just bringing up that because it's not connected to the building, it's kind of an entirely new structure that, you know, if you look at the National Parks Historic Guidelines, you know, they actually want there to be a difference between what's new and what's old. And something that's new can be of its time, and I know no one will agree with me, but the stainless steel cable railing is of its time. So I just wanted to bring that up. That's, you know, in historic preservation, you want the new stuff to actually look different than the old stuff, just so that somebody can be like, oh yeah, well, that's new, that's old, you know, and not get confused. Versus when he came before us with those lights in front, I mean, that was like attaching to the old building, trying to replace something that was old, and in that case, we wanted something of the time period. So there's just like a subtle difference there that I just wanted to bring up.
Yeah, but I think it could be, in answer to your point, it could be different but complementary in a way, you know, like it's not the same, but at least it looks like it complements the other building.
Yeah.
So that it's pleasing to look at, you know, it doesn't have to be the same exact thing or even the same exact look. But I think white pickets that don't exactly match your balconies, right?
Oh, definitely not white. It would be dark forest green.
Oh, okay.
To match, yeah.
Okay.
But we can't dictate color for you.
Yeah, we can't dictate color, but I'm just saying that, you know, what the thing would be is not what you have on the building.
Now, you keep calling these pickets, they're actually balusters, right?
Yeah.
Rail.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
call them balusters. not
Okay,
pickets,
thank you.
Because
Yeah.
pickets is a fence.
Fence.
Pickets are a fence, they have a point at the top, right? Yeah.
I have to say, I agree with Ben in theory that, and in letter of the intent, that the Parks Department gave us that new construction can go a different direction and should look like it's its own unique thing. How far we go with that is the sticky wicket, because it's, you know, you want it to blend in. It is a homogeneous kind of neighborhood, but at the same time, so I agree with Ben, but I don't think that going as far as stainless steel cable is, that's, you know, I worked in Provincetown for many years. Everything has stainless steel cable, and if someone gets thrown against it, they turn into a sliced egg. No, they do not do that. But, horrible things have happened. No, but that is, they've allowed the modern, I think, to an overextent. I don't know if, you know, it's gonna be up to the board, but I think this, possibly this, the white one may look unique enough and yet keep in, you know, it is an historic district, and the commercial buildings, I'm sure you know, are sacred in that district. So I'd kind of like it to be something pleasing to the eye of the average citizen or tourist, but yeah. So I guess what we need from you is to tell us what your plan is, and then we can vote on it. I'd rather do that than try to tell you what to do. I mean, there's a couple of plans here that's, you know, there's a new metal wire.
Is it possible to agree on,
Well, that's what I'm asking Mr. Sears to let us know what the direction he wants to go in. I think that would be the best foot forward, and then we can comment on that.
So is there consensus that we don't want the stainless cable?
I don't think that's.
I don't think there's consensus.
Yeah, I think I might have been the only one commenting on that. Oh, did you? Okay, so there's two of them.
So would we take two votes, one on the stainless cable, and then if that doesn't fly, can we go with this?
No.
The problem is once we vote on it.
That's it.
That's it, yeah.
Okay. Can I just ask for a show of hands of how many support the stainless cable?
I don't know if you can poll, but I don't think you can poll the board.
You could have an option.
Yeah.
If the stainless cable isn't approved, then go to option 2, which is
That's true.
the balusters. So you could proceed like that.
Okay.
And that, so you'll know. I mean, we'll either get the stainless or you'll have to go to the other one.
Right. That sounds good to me.
So that's what I was putting in your motion.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any other comments or questions from the board? All right, I will close the board discussion. Do we have a motion?
I don't know what that motion would be.
Well, like I said,
Good.
so option 1 is the board approves the stainless railing. Option 2, if it isn't approved, we go
Okay,
to
so
option 2.
I make a motion to move forward to go with option, to see how we feel or vote
On the stainless.
on option 1, which is the stainless wires, or option 2, which is the balusters with, you know, the headers. and footers.
I don't know how that works.
I'm going by what Dave says.
And also
So
there's an
all-
option to not vote on it at all.
Right.
Or deny it.
So all those who want to vote for option 1,
Which is the stainless?
stainless steel,
Would say aye.
say aye.
All those who would like to vote in favor of option 1 say aye. All those against option 1 say nay.
Nay.
All those in favor of option 2 say aye.
Aye.
All those against option 2 say nay.
Nay.
Okay,
Oh, wait,
we
wait.
have
Wait, so
Yes.
everybody else but Mr. Briggs?
everybody but.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mr.
I was trying to,
It's okay.
Yes.
I was getting a little confused, I'm sorry.
So we have 6 in favor of option 2 and 1 against option 2. You do have a majority. Therefore, agenda item 23-24 passes 6 to 1.
Wait, I need a second.
I'll second.
Oh, sorry, so sorry.
You made the.
Mr. Green seconded.
Yes.
Made it?
Oh, I
No,
mean,
Mr. Gaffer.
Look like-
Or at least sounded like.
Okay, now you can do that.
Okay, yes, so, okay. Agenda item 23-24, option 2, balusters with header and footer passes 6 to 1 in favor. So you are approved.
Thank you.
Would header.
Thank you. for your-
With header and
Would.
wood header and footer, yes. Okay. Whew, all right. Moving on to agenda item 4, application 23-26, 67 Main Street. This is, I believe, a sign. Come on up.
All right, I'm Katie Doherty, I'm here for Doc Sties. My husband would have been here, but he had to rush back east for a funeral, so. We are looking for approval for 2 signs. One is currently already there. We were using it as our sandwich board when we were on Subway. We moved up to Main Street. We moved it into a shadow, it's like a shadow box, a street box. I think you have pictures of it, and if not, I have one. But because it is staying up, yes. Because it is staying up all the time now, we need to seek approval to just, make sure that's okay. So that's the first sign. The second sign would be a shingle, which there's already currently a hardware piece for that, and we're just looking for approval for a new sign to hang on that hardware. And I believe you also have a drawing of that.
Yes.
Should be a oval shape that gives the rough dimensions of it. It's gonna be real simple, white sign, purple letters.
Okay.
This way.
On your banner.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I will open up the public hearing for this one.
Public comment.
Public comment, sorry. Anybody for or against this application? Nobody, all right. We'll close the public comment and move on to staff comments.
No comment.
No comment from staff. Closing staff comments and moving along to board discussion.
I'd like to see a tie-dye sign. I'm just kidding.
We could do that, but we're trying to keep it simple.
Classy.
Looks good.
Yeah. Anybody?
It's good.
Anybody else? No? Okay, we'll close the board discussion. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve application 23-26 as approved, as displayed, presented.
I second. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against say nay. Okay, we have 7 to 0 in favor. Your application is approved. Thank you. All right, moving right along to agenda item 5, approval of the April 5, 2023 Design Review Board Special Meeting Minutes. Do we have a motion?
I approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, Mr. Shriver makes a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Do we have a second? I second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All against say nay. None, 7 to 0 in favor of approving the minutes. And, agenda item 6 is review, discussion, and possible approval of the updated design review board application packet.
And please note that if you do not feel like approving them tonight, you do not have to.
Packet saying
it can be brought back.
Will the dark skies portion be included? Could they be included?
The dark skies portion is already in the standards.
It's in there,
Mhm.
okay, great.
That's, the city manager before it went back to the council for approval. We made note of that in the sections. What I will do is I will highlight those sections for you and give you the dark skies ordinance. And if you would like to see any further changes, you just let me know.
Great.
Will that work? Okay.
Anything from anyone? People feel like it's time to approve.
I know
the
we, well,
I can go over what I changed if that would help.
yeah, yes, please.
Okay. So on the front page, we added that the new guidelines were adopted by council, the resolution, and the effective date. Nothing else changed on that page. On the second page, we took some of the items that were on different pages and then combined them so that it made a little bit of a difference in the way that it was presented. This also includes in the new design standards or the development standards, the what we had started doing with the board is emailing them as soon as we got them. We give you 1 week to review them, and then we give them 1 week, if possible, we give them 1 week to get the information. Unfortunately, like Mr. Sears, he had to have it prior to the meeting. So that was now included. We did also too, on there is, we don't need all of the pages submitted for the copies, so we did change that. Pages 4 through 7, as well as the provided documents, will be needed for the above. Only the original application needs the acknowledgement form and the other, the letting people on the property, and nothing else. Like, none of these pages need to be copied to be in there. Yes, sir.
The only comment I would make is what is significant changes? What is...
Where are you? I'm sorry, where are we at?
After application is submitted and significant changes are needed.
Okay, so this comes in...
How do we measure significance?
Well, this comes in, it's in reference to the chocolate factory, but it's also in the development standards.
Okay.
Where if there are significant changes to what the board approved, you'll now see there is on the front page of that, there's now an acknowledgement that they have to sign.
Okay.
That, and it states, and this can be changed, this was just the wording that I came up with from our discussions about what happened to the chocolate factory. Any deviation from the approved scope of work for a project to include but not limited to product or material changes will require the applicant to contact the building official with the new scope of work for the project, product, or material changes, along with an explanation for the deviation/change. Those deviations/changes may require the applicant to go back before the design review board for additional approval.
That's great.
Because you wanted to make sure that Joe saw them, see how, just like the window, you approved a 4x4. Joe saw that he was putting in a smaller window, so we had to bring him back to the board. So we wanted to make sure that that was, that's what we're calling significant changes, I believe,
Okay.
is how I'm defining it here. But if it needs to be defined a different way, we can absolutely do that.
I like it, yeah.
I like that.
But we will make sure that either, if the applicant and homeowner are listed on this application, they will have to sign both. If just an applicant, let's say the representative signs, then they will sign, not the homeowner, so that they know, whoever the contractor is that's presenting the document to the board, so that they know that if they make any changes, it'll go to Mr. Ward and then back to the board if need be.
Excellent.
And the other thing is, we kind of put all the maps together so that they didn't have to copy more than one page. We tried to make them as legible as possible. And then, pretty much everything else stayed the same for that. We went through the developmental standards and tried to go down each one. You'll also notice that the submittal page looks a little different from where we check and where they check. So we added some of the things that used to be with where the maps were.
Okay.
What they looked like, because we felt that it was better on this page when we're going through all of this with them, to know that it was in there and what they needed to look for.
So it's just been kind of organized a little differently.
Right, and like I said, we went step by step from the design standards. We went whatever the introduction, we made sure it was all in here, the review process, and things like that. And what the board had approved and what the mayor and council approved for the standards for that.
So I propose that we vote on this in the next meeting and give everybody a chance to look it over and see if there's, since some things have been moved around and tweaked here and there, and see if anything jumps out at us, and then we can vote to whether or not to approve in the next.
Okay. Now, I did not on the application put in anything for dark skies. If you do wish to have something, we can try to accommodate that. Once I send you the other information, I'll send this back with you and ask if you want something on here, if they're doing lighting, to make sure that they are dark sky compliant.
We're not requiring any code issues on there,
Yeah.
so
No.
it's really up to them.
Right. Because whatever they do, it has to go to Joe.
Right.
And
That's a
Joe,
code issue,
right, it has to go to Joe. But I mean, we can reference that you make sure for light fixtures, you know, we can do it on the application if you want. But it is in the standards, like I said, we did reference it in the lighting area on both the commercial and the residential. And then on the very back page of the summary, if you go there now, it's has the ordinance spelled out, and if you click on it, it opens straight up to the ordinance so you can see everything.
I don't think it needs to be on there.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Do we need to make a motion on this, or
Nope, we
no,
can just bring it back.
Bring it back. Okay, that way people have a chance to look through. All right. Do we have any staff, well, we have a couple of bullet points under staff comments, Mr. Ward. Administrative approvals.
No.
What do you want to know about it? Nothing. They looked okay to me.
We've been getting a number of staff approvals along the way, and I think that's been working out pretty well. I've got one that I need to take care of tomorrow. I should have taken care of it today, probably, because I started looking at this and it's like, oh, wow. It's been really crazy the last couple of days. So, but being able to get some of these more simple things that really are within the purview of administrative approvals to simplify things for our residents.
Yeah, I think that's good, yes. Okay, future agenda item suggestions. Anybody on the board have suggestions? I had a thought about something, and it may be completely ridiculous, but I was thinking, you know, there are things that we want people to do, and then there are some people that have no money and it's really hard for them to do them. Has there ever been any kind of a grant for people that do not have any money to make an improvement to their property that would be in line with Design Review Board recommendations?
You mean like the high school?
Well, like anything, well, the high school is somebody who has money, but no, like a homeowner.
No, he
Who
doesn't.
maybe
He
is-
doesn't have money, and that was my point.
Oh, he
Well, I
doesn't,
think-
okay. But somebody who's a modest.
Didn't you
know,
give me
means-
like a grant application
There
from?
are state and
Yes, thank you, I
federal
couldn't
grants
remember.
There are.
that are available. Do they really happen? I don't know. You know,
Okay.
Do you want that to be something, I mean, because we can't discuss it now, but do you want that to be something the board discusses, or do you want me to see?
I don't know, it just occurred to me, I just thought, you know, people want to do the right thing, and sometimes they just can't afford it. What do you guys think?
I have an idea that is similar to this, if I can put it on the table without discussion. Maybe we can ask the city for some of the funding from the fines incurred or something like that, that would then be a fund that could help people
So I tell you what, before I bring that back to the board, how about I talk to the attorney?
Yeah, okay.
That'd be great.
That's
Let's
the
see
kind
what
of
we
thing I
can
was
do.
thinking of. Something
Something
where the
local.
city could help,
Yeah,
yeah, the city could help.
Because
with
there
that.
are programs federally and state.
And it might be a little complicated to get that.
Yeah, that's the problem, you have to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I have
So-
a quick question about temporary signage and temporary signage that turns into permanent signage and vinyl signage and used car lot banners. Is that our purview, or is that a city council thing?
Can't discuss it.
Yeah, we can't
Have to
discuss
bring that
it,
up.
but we can bring it to
Can we bring it
the,
up?
we can bring the
Okay.
sign,
It's a good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
we can bring the signs,
I'd email mine on whatever it is.
I did, yeah, I talked.
Okay,
I've
cool.
already brought this up.
okay, I can put that on
Okay, any other future agenda items? No? Okay. Then I make a motion to adjourn this meeting of the Design Review Board.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, this meeting of the